Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at a recent game pickup.
Okay, let's open up the case here and take a look at what we got. So this case is old. The foam inside is starting to disintegrate. You'll see it's kind of made a mess inside and covered everything. I do have a good idea of what all is included here. The console will be an extra for me, but a few of the games I currently don't have in my collection, so I am excited to get everything out of here and take a look. So far, everything seems to be in very nice condition other than being dirty and could use a good cleaning. The Game Boy itself, as you can see, does have some grime, but I think that this will clean up nice. Under the cover, the battery terminals do have some corrosion, but I do think this is something that we can address fairly easily. Tucked away in the bottom of the case was some original paperwork and game manuals. Always cool to get these along with the games. The foam from inside the case that was breaking down is almost a black, sticky, rubbery dust. So I'm going to go ahead and just clean everything off first with this toothbrush, and then from there I'll use some compressed air, and as we disassemble we'll wash each part individually. Alright, so we have everything dusted off. We'll take a look here and see if this powers up. Yeah, so there was some corrosion on the battery terminals, so kind of expected there to be somewhat of an issue here. Here we go. Move the batteries around. The game does load. As you can see, there's several vertical lines out on the screen. Volume works. Looks like otherwise everything works, so we'll go ahead and get this disassembled, get it cleaned up, and see what we can do about that screen. If you are at all into doing any type of electronic repair, console repair, anything like this, I'm sure you already know about this. The iFixit kits are fantastic. Value for the money, can't beat it, and they have all the different bits and adapters that you'll need for doing any kind of video game repair. They have the tri-wing and the game bits and all that stuff, security bits, it's all here. So, great kit. Here we'll get started with disassembly, and I will speed this up a bit just to save us some time. Again, another fantastic item if you're doing this type of work. The magnetic project mat from iFixit. Use this a ton of the time. It is dry erase, so you can go ahead and write on there what it is that you're leaving. Otherwise, you get about 700 screws out of a console, and you go to put it back together, you can't remember what goes where. So these are very handy. So we went ahead, took out the 6K screws. There's some of that corrosion I was talking about. We're going to see what we can do to clean that up. Doesn't look horrible, but it's definitely affecting the operation. So we're going to want to flip this up, and we're going to have to unplug the screen there. As you can see, the ribbon cable for the screen. So we'll just kind of reach in here. Again, I don't believe there's a lock here. It just slides right out. And there it comes apart in two. So overall, this front half doesn't appear to be too bad. I am going to take the circuit board out though, because I want to get all the buttons out, and there's some grime in the speaker port here. So we will take this side apart just to get in there and clean that up. And then the battery side, we're going to have to pull that out to get to the contacts. If you've never taken one of these apart before, there's going to be 10 of these screws on the face circuit board. That's going to be your screen back here. So when you pull these out, they're all going to be marked by a white circle indicating that that's where the screws came from. So easy way to remember where they go back in when you're putting it back together. So quickly, as I'm taking a look at this too, it's always good to check your caps just to make sure that you don't see any of them bulging or leaking any anything onto the board. Everything in here actually looks very nice, so hopefully this is just going to be a fairly simple cleanup. We'll set that off to the side. Again, there's some more of that case that's kind of degrading, breaking down, and got that black dust all over everything, so we're going to get that cleaned up. We'll go ahead and remove the motherboard from this unit. Overall, I was impressed on the condition of the internals of this Game Boy. We will go ahead and clean the battery terminals as well as dust off the rest of the board and clean out the power switch. We've removed the battery terminal connectors. These do have some battery leakage on them. They're a little bit corroded. We'll go ahead and see what we can do to get these cleaned up and back in working order. Now that we have the unit fully disassembled, we'll go ahead and put all the parts in a dish of warm soapy water. We'll let it sit a bit and then scrub everything with an old brush. Now that everything has been cleaned and we gave it a chance to dry off, we're ready to start the reassembly process. Next, we'll work to address the dead vertical lines in the screen. I did already remove the dust seal from the ribbon cable at the base of the screen. What we'll do is take our soldering iron and we'll slowly work it over the ribbon cable, and the goal here is to reflow the solder and re-establish connection between the screen and the ribbon cable. You'll notice that the lines slowly come back to life. The most important part of this step is to keep the soldering iron moving, not holding it too long in one place, occasionally lifting the iron, letting the ribbon cable cool, and watching to see if the lines come back. If patient, this process can typically restore a screen to 100% functionality. There are dozens of solutions for aftermarket and upgraded screens, but if your goal is to have a stock unit, this really is the best approach. Alright, there you have it. That should be good. We'll let it cool down for a few minutes here, toss the game in, and we'll test it out before we reassemble. Alright, game in. Just the brightness, and I think we have it. I'm going to go ahead and get this unit reassembled the rest of the way, and we'll take a look at the finished product. I went ahead and tested the unit for a few minutes with the Castlevania Adventure. Overall, looks great, plays great. I think this unit is finished. Now, if I just could find the perfect spot to store this within the game room.